Recording in progress.
Hey Sonia, hey Kiki. Thanks for taking the time. Kiki, I'll start with you. You and Kira both had huge games in the front court today. Can you just talk a little bit about what it feels like, that chemistry between you guys and the confidence you have, like playing with her, and when you both are clicking like that?
I think Kira and I do a great job of just playing off of each other, finding the hot hand, finding the mismatches truly. We're both post threats, so kind of just seeing who has the mismatch for the day. But I think, every game the chemistry is getting better. I know last year we were kind of on top of each other, so that's been a point of emphasis this season, is just like spreading the floor. If there's one post in there, giving them space to operate. So I think in the first 2 games you've already been able to see that.
And is that mostly just like you guys being aware of where you need to be, or is that also kind of the development of your games to be able to do that more effectively?
I think a combination of both. Just one, being aware that we're on top of each other, and 2, Kira can handle the ball in the perimeter. I'm trying to stretch my range, so I think a combination of the both.
And then just one for Sonia. Just curious, you and Maureen Johannes had quite the battle today, and just curious, what's the toughest thing about going against her? What kind of stood out as you tried to shut her down today?
Yeah, I think it's just her speed and her ability to shoot the ball. She comes off a lot of screens, and it's hard to chase her. And then even if you have a hand in her face, she's still going to make it. So she's just a great shot maker and a tough player to guard.
Hi, Carl Baltimore, District of Buckets. This one's for Kiki. After that second quarter, you guys were able to regroup to find your way back into this game. What does it mean for you guys, especially as a young team, to be able to keep that mental resolve, to be able to fight through those types of deficits and runs that other teams make?
I think with this team, we never think we're out of the game. Even if we're down 15, we still believe that there's a chance. When we went to overtime, we were like, we have a chance to win the game. So I think we just have a lot of confidence in our ability to come back. We've done it a little bit last season, and we have even more pieces this year. So I just think we never give up. We always believe that we have a shot.
Hey, Kiki. Question for you. You had a couple of clutch free throws in overtime. Can you just talk a little bit about what was going through your mind during that period?
Slow down, take a deep breath. Nobody's rushing me on the free throw line, so really just composing myself. You'll see me a lot of the times I take a deep breath before I shoot, and I think that's really key for me, just to ground myself. But I just told myself to take my time.
And then my follow-up for Sonia was playing with Cass Prosper at Notre Dame. What can you talk about that you've noticed, like an improvement in her game, or what she brings to this team?
Yeah, she brings a lot. She's an amazing defender. She's long, athletic. She's a great rebounder and just a hustle player. And then in terms of growth, I think I've really seen her just grow on the offensive end and just playing, like the game is kind of slowing down for her, and just being able to make the right reads at the right time and just let the game come to her.
Kiki, you had quite a bit there where you had to be out there with 5 fouls. What did you find for the balance of, staying poised and keeping in there while still being aggressive?
I think I can be more disciplined. This is the second game where I had 5 fouls. So just for myself, being more disciplined. But I just truly, in the last quarter, in the overtime, I just was like, is it worth it, me getting on the bench? I feel like I can help my team a lot. So kind of reading, like, sometimes let them go. Sometimes they're not even really trying to shoot it. They're just trying to get into my body to get the contact. So just being a little bit smarter towards the end of the game. But I think going forward from the beginning, I just need to be a little smarter with my fouls.
For Sonia, Kiki was kind of just talking about how you guys, are able to come back in any situation. Looking back at what you guys were able to accomplish last year, now in your home opener, 2 games into the season, how do you feel about where, you and Kiki are as leaders of this team, so early into your careers and season already?
Yeah, we're definitely a young group. I think me and Kiki just have the experience from last year, and even though we are young, we're just trying to share what we learned and what we went through last year, and anything we can give the rookies. And then, I think we're trying to step into that role. It's far from perfect. We're learning, we're growing ourselves. So just making sure that we, no matter what's going on, we're vocal and just trying to be good leaders. But it's gonna take time.
And for either of you guys, a quick follow-up, just to be such a young team in this league or this early in the season, go toe-to-toe with the Liberty like you did today, what do you think that says about this roster?
We did it last season too, so I don't think we're surprised. And again, every game we feel like we have a chance to beat whoever's in front of us, despite what people might say. So we know the Liberty are a great team. They are tough to guard, tough to defend, but we believe in our coaches, game plan for us. We believe in each other to be able to stop them and to win the game. So I don't think there's any fear. There is no fear when we're playing against these teams. We're just like, we want to try to outwork them and win the game.
Kiki, you had 6 offensive boards today. What do you think has helped you get better in that aspect?
I think just time, I have 1 year under my belt. I kind of know what to expect. I'm able to read a little bit better. Like, I know who's shooting. I know where the ball's going to go. I know if it's a 3-point shot, it's likely going to be a long rebound. So just being smarter, increasing my basketball IQ, but I think it's just come with time.
And then, Sonia, now that Amor has been in the lineup for a couple games now, how do you think she's affected the offense compared to last season?
I think she makes a tremendous difference. She's kind of our floor general. She's a natural born leader, so she just really runs our offense, knows what to run, when to run it, make sure we're in our spots. But yeah, I think it's night and day when now that she's back.
And we'll finish on Zoom with Brad.
Yes, hi ladies, Brad from WS Nation. For either of you, can you describe just how your bench complimented you today, Lucy, Alex, 5 points each, and just how in sync are the starters and the bench in just game number 2?
I think the bench players created a tremendous spark. They come in and they're tough players. They play both sides of the ball, and they definitely brought that spark today. And then in terms of, was it chemistry?
Yes.
I think, again, that's something that's going to take time. It's only the second game in the season, so we're working at it. And we're just trying to get better game by game. But it's definitely, it's getting better, but I think we still have a long way to go, and we're excited to reach that potential.
I thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Sonia.
Thanks.
Hey, Sydney.
Hey.
What a game.
Yeah.
The thing that really stood out to me was the confidence that this group was playing with, particularly in the paint, just going up against the Liberty front court. How would you kind of describe the kind of confidence you see from this group, and where do you think that comes from?
I think it's they think they're good, which they are. Those front court players, Kira, Kiki, Lauren, Angela mixing it up as well. So it's fun that they've arrived to DC with that confidence, and I think we're pouring into them, really focusing on that individual work and making sure that they're aware of spacing and poise and finishing. And so I think it's a combination of just competitive young players, and then intentional in terms of our development and where we think they can be effective.
Is confidence something that you look for in college players or free agents when you're adding them to the roster, or is that something more like you have to see how it translates when you get them in the door?
No, I think, humbly speaking, I just I've never played at this higher level, but you just can't get it done at this level without knowing that you're good, and so we focused a lot on winning programs. And then obviously, we've, Kira, we've inherited, but she is she competitive. But we've also looked at, when we're scouting for draft last year, this year, trying to circle in on players that really have come to have those winning habits, and you got to have some level of swagger.
Just one more for me. The paint points, you guys won that pretty handily, and it made me think of your comments on, I think it was draft night, about how you wanted to make sure that you guys didn't get bullied anymore. Is this kind of what you envisioned that looking like?
Yeah. We might get beat. We got beat today, but we didn't get bullied. And that's kind of it's togetherness. That's got to be the way we roll here in DC. Is that's just who we are. But there's some toughness too. That's got to be in our DNA as well. And so I would say definitely, tough result for us, but we didn't get bullied, and that's really, really important to us.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
Can you just talk a little bit about the bench? They came in and they gave a spark, and this was something that, again, you referenced at draft night that you didn't want to drop off when the starters weren't in.
Yeah, I can just guarantee you, as long as you're going to be a Mystic here, we're going to look to get the best that we can out of you and support you. And so there is a lot of youth on this team, but it doesn't matter if you're an experienced player or a younger player. Cass is just 20 years old, going on 21. We're going to try to put you in really good situations. We're going to try to build on your skill set. We're going to develop. And we're going to focus on stacking multiple days. So we are not surprised in any way that our reserve players come in and impact the game. That's what they're doing in their individual workouts. That's what they're doing in practice. And I'm really trying to hold them to like what we see every day in our gym. It's got to show up, when we perform, when the lights are on, whether it's home or away.
And then follow up for you for Lauren Betts. She had a monster block on Jonquel Jones in the third. Can you just talk a little bit about how much you've seen her confidence improve so far?
Yeah, I mean, she can probably speak to it best. She's really good. I mean, she's really, really good. And so nobody's going to be perfect. You might miss a shot here. You might miss an assignment there. But the body of work is just, it's going to hold true. And again, doing mic and drills with her, working on the spacing, helping her with, ball screen coverages. And she's just unbelievably coachable. So when you already have a good player who's really coachable, good things are going to happen over the long term. Just want health for every single one of them because I do feel, I'm confident that we have the staff, the organization, and the players to get better.
Hey, Coach. Noticed towards the end of the fourth quarter and through overtime, there was like a lack of Georgia on the court. Want to know, was it something tactically that you saw down the stretch there, or was it just watching her with her knee and everything?
No. Georgia's, she's a lifeline, lifeblood. I don't know the phrase. I'm so tired right now. But she's a coach's dream. She's a coach's dream. So all that is just that, she's coming back from an ACL, and we really want to get a full season out of her. So we're just being mindful of her minutes and not trying to overdo it. That's all that was.
Jalen Holmes with Double Take Sports. Another 20-plus minute game for Rory. Can you speak on what she brings to the team and how she's earned that trust with you?
Yeah, you would have think she grew up right around the corner here in Southeast because she's as tough as they come. I mean, she's real. She is real. She's very, very strong, quick, loves to compete. She's got a real desire, to make her name here. And she's a great teammate. So down in Texas, they found a good one. Rory she's been really, really fun to see here, and she's taken to, our identity in terms of that togetherness and toughness, and she's gotten good minutes here early in her career. We just want to keep building on that.
As you said, it was a very, very great game. You guys did not get bullied. For the fans that stayed to the end, those that are watching right now, what are words to keep them motivated and keep going for the remainder of this season?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll struggle with motivation with us because you just see how we play and you want to follow that. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that it's pro sports and we want to focus on wins, but how these women are going about their business, like you gravitate towards that, They compete, they're strong, they're fierce, they're connected. Who doesn't want to see that? So we felt the love from DC last year. I don't think it's going to be any different this year. And we're fighting hard, again, our individual growth and our team growth to make this city proud. And I think these women are well worth it. There's no question.
Hi, Coach. Thank you for your time. Danielle Wright with the Her Report. You guys struggled a little bit with turnovers. Do you have any plans this week to kind of battle that?
Yeah. I'm just going to have them run suicides for the next 30 minutes or so. No, I thought we had 5 turnovers at the half. And then we had 8 in the second, third, and overtime collectively. So, I didn't think we were too bad, but they were timely ones, and that showed up in Toronto as well. And some of that, there's a bit of experience there and getting reps, and then you got to credit New York as well. But we're mindful that, we don't want to give the ball away. We want to make sure that we're earning our possessions. So we'll focus on that. But I thought today was actually, relative to Toronto, it was actually a really good performance for us overall in terms of ball security.
Going to Lucy at the very end, is there a key when a player has been sitting for a while to be able to say, like, hey, big situation overtime, now I want you back out there?
Yeah. You know what it is? There's some stuff schematically that New York was doing that I wanted to get a different look out there, and I'll just say it's not an easy position to be a Lucy or an Allie or any player in that regard, and yet that's what happens in the pros, and when your number is called, and I don't think I think Lucy is built for that. Does she want to play more? There's no question, but in terms of that challenge. You know what I mean? And that pressure, Lucy's not afraid of anything. I think Allie is the same way. So ideally, they would have a few more minutes before being into that pressure situation. But in the pros, sometimes it works that way. And, there's a bit of confidence there to be able to turn to Lucy or an Allie or any one of our players, frankly, and say, hey, we need you for this possession or two or three. And that's where that comes from, that trust, and they've earned that right.
Coach, real quick, I know that aggressiveness doesn't come up on the stat sheet. Obviously, that's not something that we measure. But in terms of how much that mattered, especially towards the end going into overtime, how proud of you are you of your team that they were able to take it in overtime like that?
You can't do what we've done in a very short amount of time without being tough or together. And I guess I would just say that the way that they have conducted themselves in these first couple of games, our players, they show us that every day, and that's whether it's on the court or off, So it's really, really important to me how we connect with basketball in mind or without, and I think that carries over onto that court, and that's what we're seeing. So we can score a few more points and get the win. That's the best part of it. But at the least, we're going to be tough and we're going to stay together.
Coach, after seeing today's game, you and your coaching staff is one of the most active coaches I've ever seen. Always dapping up your players, getting hype. What do you have to say, and what does that bring to the team? Well,
it's exhausting. But no, I mean, I said a couple weeks ago, we are. This coaching staff really is built for this from an organization standpoint. I've said it again, I'll say it, I'll keep saying it. Player development and developing the entire roster is so important to what we do here in DC. And I had to focus in on coaches that's kind of their wheelhouse. Like, that gets them going. There's a different level of coaching details and film and on the court. Not that other coaches aren't doing that, but we're kind of working up from the basics and the fundamentals. We're explaining what a rip screen is. We're explaining 77. We're explaining what it is to mouse. These are different terms that are thrown around. We've got players who don't know what that is, and so for them to go out there and execute it, they first have to learn it. But that doesn't slow us down coaching wise. You know what I mean? We don't get frustrated. We're like, yeah, no, we understand what the gig is. And I think some of that energy that you're seeing is just the reward of working with young folks and them meeting us more than halfway and going out there and performing like that. Again, it's not a win, but for a coaching staff, we're thrilled with this group. And maybe there's some energy that we show, but they certainly, show us 10 times that amount.
We'll go to Brad on Zoom.
Yeah, hi, Coach. Brad Lake, WS Nation. You've just spoken about all the mental toughness of these young ladies. After just 2 games, can you describe that toughness that you've seen from them on the defensive side of the ball, and maybe what improvements that you immediately saw from them in this afternoon's game?
Yeah, there's toughness there, Brad, but they're also learning fast. Like, and we understand that there's a deficit there in terms of the reps, right? Like, even the oldest player on our team, Allie, is a rookie. So there's reps that they need against these players and these schemes, but they're learning so quickly. So the Liberty put 55 points on us in the first 2 quarters, and then in the third and fourth, we held them to 30. And there's some schemes and changes that we made at halftime that I think helped, and they had to pick that up in the moment. And boom, they just made the adjustment and competed their tails off and got the just reward. So I would just say, yes, toughness. We've talked about that a number of times this evening, but also the learning fast part. Really proud of them for doing that, and we need more, as we go through this challenging season.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good night. Happy Mother's Day.